Hello, friends. This is Christopher Davis-Shannon, and today I am checking in with my friend from California, Terry Carter. Terry, how are you today?
Oh, fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Man, I see some sun shining through your window, and that makes me so happy. We're under a tornado warning at this moment.
So, it was raining earlier, but we're good now.
Yeah, not that I would ever complain about the weather in San Diego, where you are, any day whatsoever.
Exactly.
Terry, would you mind just kicking us off with a tune?
Yeah, let's play a little tune. So I'm gonna bring a little sunshine to the world today. I guess this song works, doesn't matter what's going on, but this is a little Bobby McFerrin tune here.
Heck yeah, I'm a huge Bobby McFerrin fan.
And this is one we just did for our challenge, our 21-day the hashtag the pro challenge. Don't worry, be happy. Kind of cool strum pattern. Simple chords, C, D minor, and F. But let's go ahead and do it. Every life you have some trouble, and when you worry you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Here we go now. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry, be happy. I gotta do the next verse, kind of funny. Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody took your bed, but don't worry, be happy. The landlord says your rent is late. You may have to litigate, but don't worry. Here we go. Don't worry. Be happy now. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry. One more time. Be happy now. Don't worry. Be happy.
It doesn't get much happier than that. I'm actually really, really happy, no pun intended, that you chose that tune. You mentioned right before you start, I'm actually a huge Bobby McFerrin fan and have been since I was a kid. My mother's a vocalist, so I grew up partially listening to Bobby McFerrin as one of the main artists, and so many people know him only for that song.
The pop stuff.
And Bobby McFerrin is quite frankly probably one of the most virtuosic vocalist that has come around in the past 50 years or so. And his father was an opera singer at the Met. Before that, his daughter is also a phenomenal vocalist. There's something in those genes, but if you're not terribly familiar with Bobby McFerrin's work outside of that one huge hit that he had, I implore you to go check out the things that he does, and also his videos of audience manipulation, where he gets concerts of thousands of people singing in harmony together out of nowhere. It's really just something to behold. So thank you so much for choosing that one, Terry. That kind of made my day. For those of you who are not familiar with Terry Carter, he runs a site called Uke Like the Pros, which is an educational site, and that's what Terry does. Is he teaches people about music, not just ukulele. He's also a guitarist. Teaches out of college out in San Diego, as well as doing all of this social media work. Can you just tell the people a little bit about Uke Like the Pros and what you do over there, and what your ultimate goal is with Uke Like the Pros?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. So Uke Like the Pros started about 5 years ago as an app, of all things, as an app. And I'll tell you, I'll keep this brief, but this is how I got started really into the ukulele. Although I had been playing years ago for some kind of class that I had, but we would, every day after we surfed, me and my buddy would play guitar. And so we would play, and people would come by and check us out, and I'd be singing, and he'd be playing and soloing. But then the one day he brought a ukulele, and I was like, you know what? I think I have one of those in my studio. So I went, that's how I didn't have hardly, that was it. I had one, and it was a cheap baritone ukulele that was strung with normal, as a tenor. So it was this super high tension on it.
Yeah.
And the very, very first day we played, I didn't even know any of the chords. I knew the chord shapes because it's guitar shapes, but I didn't know the transposition. That's how green I was 5 years ago with it. And literally when we started playing, everybody just came around and just stood there, and they didn't just wait one song. They would listen to 3, 4 songs. And I was right there, something in my brain was people love this instrument. It's crazy.
It's hard not to.
So I basically decided to filmed the course, wrote a course in a week or two, filmed it and got it up there. And then literally that became Master the Ukulele 1, which is my best-selling course. And it's just gone down there for music reading courses, to fingerstyle courses, to a whole entire website, ukelikethepros.com now, where we do courses, we do memberships, we have thousands of people in our community. And it was just all about bringing people together in one place that want to learn, get better. And we dive a little deeper than just learning songs. Like you said, we do music theory. We get into some of the stuff that's, once you get past kind of the basic chords and stuff, and you kind of get bored with just doing song after song, there's a whole nother realm of music beyond that we try to, and I know you do the same thing, but we try to get people to understand that and dive a little bit deeper into ukulele.
Right. And I think that's a great thing. Is sort of our ultimate goal is the uke's a great tool to facilitate music, but ultimately music is what we're doing, and that knowledge transfers to any instrument that we want to play. So if you understand that those underlying concepts, you really just open up so much more for yourself. And I'm really glad that you do address the music theory and all of that. I know one unique thing that you do is your Zoom meetings with a lot of your members on Fridays, right? You do them, or you have a couple now that you do throughout the week. So there's a lot of online programs, but Terry really has a lot of personal interaction, that it's not just view a video. And I've actually come on and done a class with Terry and taught through him. And it's really great, not just the educational material that you've done, but really the community that you've built around that material. And people really care about it. And, they're not just invested in what you're doing, but you as a person as well. You've really built something wonderful. And I think that's kind of admirable in the world, especially with such a happy little instrument. And I'm sure it's not what you initially set out to do with this, because most of us have no idea what we're doing when we get started with with playing. And it's funny how things just kind of fall in line as we get through this.
Yeah, for sure. No, you're right. It's we do a weekly ukulele Q&A, and that's on Fridays. And we've been doing that for a while now. We've been doing that, I would say, 4 or 5 years. And so Zoom is the new hottest thing these days. Everything, all schools are on Zoom, so it's kind of funny, but we've been using Zoom for a long time.
Yeah, and you're the one that hipped me to Zoom, and I've been using it for lessons ever since.
But yeah, it's a great program, and we do a guitar lele now. So I'm also one of the forerunners in guitar lele instruction, and so there's actually it's a small community, but there's a strong community in guitar lele as well. So just basically this instrument with 2 extra strings. Where's my guitar lele? So so the guitar lele is basically an ukulele with 2 extra strings to give you a little bit more range. It's still tuned like an ukulele. So we do a Q&A for that as well. And then we started a baritone Q&A that we do now. And it's funny because when we started the ukulele ones, it was kind of people didn't really know what to do, and so we would literally have meetings with 3 people. I'd be doing these Q&As with 3 people, and so
yeah.
And so you do develop a relationship with them, and now I opened the last one up, and we had over 100 people show up for the Q&A. So so it's a growing thing, and it was really more of what you said too. Online courses are great, right? I can film a course, I can put it up there, and people can go through it. and people can do it at their own time, but there's always a point where people want to ask questions. They want to connect with other people. And so a lot of it's become a hang. Like they come and hang, they're telling little jokes to one another, they're making fun of each other. You know,
yeah, so you see that so much in the ukulele groups that meet all over the world. You know, 30% of it's about playing the music. So much of it is about the community and the friendship. It's almost like going to church for some people to have hangs like this. Like, and I think it's an important social thing that this instrument specifically has really brought into the world in the past, 8 years or so, in this last sort of resurgence of uke. And I think it's just been beneficial for society as a whole. It gives us this new meeting space and a new way for us to have a community and do something together in a world that is becoming more and more based online as we go. And that's, we're still having that social interaction, which is beautiful. Terry, would you mind playing us another tune?
Yeah. So I'm gonna change it up here a little bit on us. I'm gonna get this bad boy out. Ooh. So the story is with this one. This is obviously a guitar. Let me see if I can.
That's an extended range baritone.
Yeah, very extended range. So what happened with this is a 1959 Gibson ES 135, and what happened was the repair shop that I use for my store, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. It's basically just a repair shop, but they do consignment stuff. And so I walked in there, and I was there the day before, and you see all their consignment stuff on the wall. And the day I went in, I was like, wait, what's that? I just knew. I saw the Gibson headstock, and I was like, wait, that wasn't there yesterday. And literally, the guy had just got it in like an hour ago from the guy from consignment. And I picked it. I was like, that's it. I was like, and so I just got it right there. Like I couldn't. I just love old Gibsons, and this was in really great condition and a really a cool instrument. So anyway, we'll do a little guitar in here as part of my Rock Like the Pros guitar stuff, which is actually what I was more of a Rock Like the Pros guy before ukulele too. So anyway, we'll do a little. There's a red house over yonder. That's where my baby stays. There's a red house over yonder. That's where my baby stays. I haven't been home to see my baby in 99 and 1/2 days. Wait a minute, something's wrong here. My key won't unlock this door. Wait a minute, something's wrong here. Key won't unlock this door. I got a bad feeling. My baby don't live here no more. I might as well go over yonder, way back among them hills. I might as well go over yonder, way back among them hills. I know my baby don't love me no more. I know her sister will.
I was really expecting a dominant 7 with a sharp 9 on the end.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take it. Yeah. So right before you start playing, you mentioned your Rock Like the Pros YouTube channel, of course, which you started that before all the uke stuff, right? That was really your first foray into social media teaching and marketing and all of that, right?
Yeah. So Rock Like the Pros actually started originally as a book series that I wrote for the colleges. I was a college professor, never full time, just always as a part-time gig up in LA for about a decade. And so I just wrote a book that I thought I needed for my course, that I didn't see anything out there for a college level course. Most books they focus on music reading, or they focus on songs, so I kind of did a book that focused on songs, chords, strumming, and music reading, and the blues, and something you could take through a 16-week semester and do it. So it started actually as a book, and then those books led to videos. And to be honest with you, they never really like my social media stuff didn't really do great. I wasn't great at it at the time. Still learning now. And so I got some advice right about when I started the ukulele, Uke Like the Pros. It was from a good buddy of mine who runs a very successful online guitar lesson stuff. And now maybe he said this to me to help him and preserve the competition. But he said, "Look, dude, if I were you, I would do ukulele." I would say, you got the ukulele, you're into it, you like it. I would go into that space because it's up and coming, and there's not as many people doing it as there are with guitar. So maybe a smart decision. I did listen to him, and I did. And so the guitar's been on the back burner for the last 4 or 5 years. Although it's fun, I still write all my material. I usually write it on guitar for the most part. Or when I'm transcribing songs or something, it's usually on the guitar. But actually, starting this week, it's coming back. Yeah, so I'm going to start kind of slow and just see what kind of interest there is with some Q&As and some live YouTube and Facebook and Instagram stuff, and kind of ease into it and see what people think.
Yeah, and I guess I've been following your work for probably about 3 years or so now, which up until last fall, I had not met you in person. We corresponded online and all of that. And I've just watched you scale what you've done online over the past 3 years to really an incredible amount. And now you have a store as well where you're selling instruments in addition to doing all of the courses. And I know you don't do everything. It's not entirely one-man operation, but it's not like you have 15 employees doing all these things for you. How do you find the time to do everything that you do now? Because it is an immense amount of work.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a lot of work. And it's usually probably something that I shied away from before because of this amount of work. But it's, you know what, I'll tell you, the key that I've been noticing lately, especially in the last few weeks since we did this challenge, people almost like the Q&As we talked about. They love, well, first of all, to answer your question, I don't sleep.
Well, you also have young children, so
I have young children. Yeah, I have almost 4-year-old twins, boy and girl twins. I never have slept a lot ever in my life. So even when I was in school, undergraduate, San Diego State University, I was sleeping 2-3 hours. Now I need a little more sleep as I get older, but I don't sleep a lot. So, that helps, and it really helps with having kids because I do devote a good chunk of my day or nighttime to my family. So, while certain, if you're single, for example, you have that time to work or do it, gig or, do that. So anyway, you find the time, and it's just, I've been noticing a little hack here. It seems like, I guess that's the word people use these days, is people love the live stuff, the constant live stuff. They love going on Instagram Live and seeing you. They love going on YouTube Live because they can comment, they can be part of it, you can be interactive. Even though you can't see them like the Zoom stuff, people feel like they can comment, and people comment back, and hey, hey Roland, oh hey Mark, how you, they almost communicate with that. And so the key is, just because one person shows up, you don't stop doing that. You got to build it. It takes time.
Certainly. Yeah, and that's the big thing with social media in general is, I've had, my social media presence is not nearly as large as yours, but people reach out to me with tips about social media marketing, and I generally tell them that I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing, which I think is generally the theme for most people. It's an ever-changing industry as well. The things that worked on Instagram 2 years ago don't work now. because the algorithms are always changing, and it's interesting how you always are ever adapting to what you're doing online to get your content to stick out, and with that, still trying to keep with this huge amount of content that you put out, keeping that quality in with it. I think that's sometimes the tough, and I mean, honestly, that's the most important thing, right? In the end is the content itself, and that especially the educational materials that you're giving them are accurate and helpful. And that's what it all comes down to. I think a lot of people get hung up on followers and views and all of that. And as you said, performing to one person or teaching one person is just as important and just as gratifying, honestly. And I think that's the big pictures. If you're putting in a lot of work and you're giving your all and trying, things come along down the pipeline if you're putting the work into it. And that goes for really any industry whatsoever. It's the work and the content and the passion for it. This is obviously playing these instruments and teaching about these instruments is obviously something you love, and that passion really does come out in your teaching. And that's a wonderful thing. And you're also, you're very educated in music yourself, and you're easily able to communicate those ideas to people, which is sometimes a very big stumbling block. I find is a lot of amazing players are maybe not the best at communicating what they're able to do to people who are not on their level. I don't know have you found that a challenge as you go along to be able, especially on the online format where you're not one-on-one with a student. I think both of us are used to have in the past, taught in classrooms, taught private lessons, and it's really adapting your teaching style to an audience of who knows with no interaction, no direct feedback. I mean, how did you tackle that in the early days when you were starting your tutorial videos on YouTube and the other platforms as far as adapting your teaching style to better suit the new platform?
Yeah, that's great. Great point. Great question. So, being when you're in a classroom setting or a one-on-one setting, you kind of filling up a certain time block, so you get used to talking for an hour and 20 minutes or an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. Sometimes these classes are, and you realize, and I'm still always changing, always adapting, always trying new things. As a matter of fact, I had a meeting last night with one of, my team members, and we looked at all the data from the videos we posted in the last 3 weeks. And we said, okay, this really worked. This didn't work so well. This works on YouTube, but it doesn't work on Facebook. So we need to do more content like this on Facebook.
And that's a huge thing that I've noticed is, what works on Facebook, things will blow up on Facebook. YouTube, you'll get no traction. Instagram's another. It's crazy, to adapt to the different platforms as well. The teaching style and what translates via the platform. Yeah.
Which means more content. You got to create more content, different content for each platform, which seems daunting, and it gets easier as you do it. But yeah, we're always changing, and I'm finding that, like YouTube, sometimes a 6-minute video, 3-minute video, 4-minute video is better than that 20-minute video, 15-minute video, even though, I could go 15 minutes in a video, no problem. I could go 15 minutes, no problem. But so I'm having to learn to do it once, move on. People can rewind the video, they can pause it, different things. So thinking about the platform people are watching, and you can't please everybody. The older crowd, they like it when you take it slow and repeat stuff over and over again. But the younger crowd, they want it fast, they want it quick. Show me what you got, and then they're moving on. So you got to figure out where your target audience is, what you want to kind of focus on. It's a great quote is that if you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's right. You mentioned age demographics, which is one of those big things across platforms as well. Instagram, Snapchat, things like that skew so much younger. Where Facebook, you're mostly making content for people 40 and above. Say, and it is the teaching style does have to change. And YouTube has a much broader range, I find, of ages that access that material over there, and it's how do you kind of get the best of all the worlds in there, and please ever get, and also, as you know, not everyone learns the same. Some people are more auditory learners, some are more visual learners. Some need to be worked through every single note. Some people just need to watch something once and they're they're there. And that's certainly a challenge with the online content as to how to properly address that and make it accessible to the widest range of people. Yeah. Thank you for nerding out with me a little bit about social media. It's one of my favorite little things to talk about. This is my show, so I get to talk about whatever I want, which is a very, very dangerous thing. But Terry, would you mind playing us one last tune?
I would. I'm going to go back to the ukulele here. So what I do, we do a lot of challenges, and so today I think we gave away 6 or 7 prizes at the end of the challenge, including the ukulele. But I also do private challenges for my members only, and so we have a challenge right now, which is a fingerstyle piece I wrote called Maui Breeze, and they have to submit. They have about 3 to 4 weeks to perform this piece, do a video of it, get it up, and we'll be giving away a Koaloha. Actually, a really nice koa wood soprano. So not even like this is just a spruce top acacia wood, but I love this thing. And anyway, so this is a piece that they're having to perform. So I'm going to perform it now. This is called Maui Breeze.
That's a beautiful little tune, Terry.
Thank you.
Yeah. But Terry, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to link to all of the stuff that we've talked about down in the description so people can check out your lessons and everything that you've done. So thank you so much for doing this with me and chatting a little bit about this. And would you mind just playing us out with a little tune?
Yeah. And don't forget, we have and I think you mentioned earlier, my online store as well, store.ukelikethepros.com
Yes, indeed.
as well. So here we go.